It's lovely to have you here with me today. In this video, I'm going to be showing you my book TBR list for the rest of June and into July. Before we get into that though, I do want to say if you hear any background noise, I apologise. One of my neighbours is playing music and there's other people home, so if you hear anything, I'm very sorry. And also, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So, I'm going to show you the two books that I am currently reading. I'm one of those people who loves to read more than one book at a time, just because sometimes I get a bit bored. Not because of the book, it's hard to explain. So I like to read too. So we're going to start off with the first one. And this one is one that's definitely like a cult favourite. And I'm very late to the game of reading this series, but it is Capcut. So A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So what I will do is I will read you the blurb and tell you what I think of it so far, because I am, how many pages am I in? 59 pages in. So, also, I don't know how to say this person's name. We're just gonna roll with it. But Fair is a huntress. The skin of a wolf would bring enough gold to feed her sisters for a month, but the life of a magical creature comes at a steep price, and Freya has just killed the wrong wolf. Taken prisoner by a high Fey lord. Is it Freya or Fair? I'm gonna say Freya. I'm very sorry to anyone who has this name, and if I'm saying it wrong, let me know. Anyway, Freya learns that her masked captor is hiding even more than his piercing gaze suggests. But as Freya's feelings for Tamlin begin to burn through every warning she's heard about his kind, a shadow is falling across the land, and if Freya cannot fight it, she will lose everything. So, I don't really read fantasy. I do dabble in it, but it's not like my main genre. But I've heard so many people say you need to read Capcut, because apparently it's just like the perfect mix of like fantasy and apparently there's some romance in there. Yeah, it is a dazzling world, complex characters and sizzling romance. So anything with like a even a basic romance storyline, that is my kind of book. I like books with a bit of romance because I'm a very romantic gal. And this is the first book that I am reading, and I just love the colour of this beast. I guess it's the wolf because it's got an arrow in it. Wow, you learn something new every day. But this is the first book that I'm reading, and so far I'm enjoying it. I should be further along in the book than I am, but I'm not, because I'm taking my time reading it. But so far I am enjoying it. And that brings us on to my second book. And first of all, I want to show you the absolute stunning cover. Okay, so the book is called Cross the Line by Simone Sultani, and it's an F1 book. I don't know guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I kind of like Formula 1. I don't know if is it obvious? I don't know. I really do love Formula 1 though, and this is my sixth Formula 1 book. I read the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher last year, loved it. Then I read Off Track, and now I'm reading this one. Now, this book, the design. First of all, I love these kind of covers. I know some people hate the cartoony ones, but I personally love it. Look at the edge of the book. Is that stunning? So it's got like the little track and the little cars, and oh my god, I'm just obsessed. I genuinely could store my book this way. It's amazing because I do love sprayed edges, and I've got one book with sprayed edges and it's just red. I mean, that's a serve, but this with actual like artwork on it. Perfecto. But yes, so far, I am enjoying it. I am, how many pages am I in? 41 pages in, and I am really enjoying it so far. I am going to read a bit more of this later on before I go to bed. But basically the idea of the story is you have an F1 driver, Dev Anderson, and his career is on the line. He then there's what's her name? Willow Williams, and she is his best friend's little sister. And guess what, guys? They kissed and then didn't see each other for 9 months, and now she's back in his life. Crazy. So basically, Dev offers her a temporary solution, and she can't help but say yes. And that means she has to ignore the crush she's had on him ever since childhood, and they've kissed as well. Like, girl, she's stronger than I am, let me tell you that. Willow and Dev are determined to keep things strictly professional, despite the blazing chemistry between them. But in the glittering, high-stakes world of Formula One, some lines are meant to be crossed. That's why it's called Cross the Line. Stun. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book so far, and I cannot wait to tell you guys what I think about this book at the end of the month. I'm going to be making a book review, monthly review of all the books I've read in June, and this one will be in there because I literally do not want to put this book down. It's so good. And I also forgot to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm so sorry. Let me just do that. Okay. So, on to the rest of the books. Let me grab them. So, the next two I'm going to talk about very, very quickly, just because I don't want to look at the blurbs, because I don't want to spoil the book for me. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but you'll see why in a minute. But sometimes with books, especially with series, I don't want to look at the blurb of the next book because I don't want anything to be spoiled. So I'm not going to look at the blurbs, but I have A Court of Wings and Ruin and A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second and third book in the Akatar series. I know I haven't even finished Akatar, but I really wanted to get the next one, which I think is... Which one is the next one? Oh, this is the next one. I wanted to get this one, and I saw it in Asta, but I didn't pick it up. And then it's been on my mind ever since then. I want to get the second book, just in case I finish Akatar, and I love it, and I want to read the next one as soon as possible. So... I went into town the other day, and I'm not even kidding, no word of a lie, these are the last 2 copies on the shelf, and I was like, you know what, you're coming home with me, because I am enjoying Akatar so far, and the size of them, how massive that is, that's literally the size of my face, damn girl, that's a lot of words. But yeah, I just wanted to get them, and I'm very excited to see what happens in Akatar, and hopefully I like it enough that I want to read the next 2. And then once I get to A Court of Wings and Ruin, I will probably get the next book, and I think there's another book after that, I think. But yeah, so I got these ones, and again, I'm not going to look at the blurb because no spoilers. I don't want to see anything like that. The next 2 books are the second and third books in a series, and I recently read the first book, and I said this in my previous book video, but I have been in a reading slump pretty much since January. Basically, I read I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and that book is so fucking relatable. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn like that, but it was so relatable. It sent me into a spiral, and it put me in a reading slump. Now that's how you know that was a good book. I will leave that book review for another video, but that book, it literally shook me to the core. And yeah, of course, I had to get the second and third one as well. So I got The Housemaid's Secret a few weeks ago, and this is also like a book I want to read after I've read Cross the Line. And oh my god, I know I say this about every single book, but the excitement of this book, it's insane. I am buzzing to read it, and I will read the blurb really quickly. So, it's hard to find an employer who won't ask too many questions about my past, so I thank my lucky stars that Douglas Carrick and his wife miraculously give me a job cleaning their stunning penthouse with views across the city and preparing fancy meals in their shiny kitchen. I can work here for a while, stay quiet until I get what I want. It's almost perfect, but I still haven't met Miss Carrick or seen inside the guest bedroom. I'm sure I hear her crying. I notice spots of blood around her neck of her white nightgowns when I'm doing laundry. And one day I can't help but knock on the door when it swings it gently. Hello, English. When it gently swings open, what I see inside changes everything. Douglas Carrick has done wrong. He is going to pay. It's simply a question of how far I'm willing to go. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to read this book. And then this book came out last Thursday, and it is The Housemaid is Watching. And I got this from the works for £5, and even came with like a little pin, which I think is so cute. I used to love collecting pins, so I was very happy with that. And it also came with a bookmark which says, "She lives next door, she knows your secrets," and it's got like a little cutout. And then on the back it says, "Welcome to the neighbourhood." So that's really cute. But whoa, I did not realise she wrote that many books. Damn girl. Okay. So with this book, I'm not going to read the blurb because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. But again, the excitement for this book is real, and as soon as I finish The Housemaid's Secret, I will be reading this one immediately because I really want to see what happens. It is like this series, I know it's going to like take over my life, and I accept that, and I'm looking forward to that. So that is another book on my TBR list. On to the final two books. These are definitely out of my typical genre of like romance and fantasy. The first one is actually a horror. Now, I do not read horror. I hate horror. I've only seen 5 horror films in my life. Insidious 1, and all of the PA films, I can't even say the words because I have such a fear of spooky spirits. But it's PA. Scarred me for life, and I watched them like a decade ago. Anywho, I don't do horror, but I saw this book in Tesco's and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna give it a go. Now this book, I think is probably like one of his most popular works, and I've never read anything by this author, but I do love this author as a person. I follow them on Twitter. They have good tweets. I've seen like video clips of them, and I like them. But again, never read anything. But that will change because I'm going to be reading my first Stephen King novel, Carrie, and this is the 50th edition. Oh, anniversary edition. So I have heard of Carrie. I know the gist of the novel, but I've never watched it, I've never read it. Growing up, my mum used to read a lot of Stephen King's books, and they were in a box under my bed, but I did not dare to read them because, hello, creepy. However, I will read you the blurb. So it says, Carrie White has a gift. The gift of telekinesis. She can move things with her mind. To be invited to prom night by Tommy Ross is a dream come true for Carrie. The first step towards social acceptance by says, this is Stephen King's legendary debut, and it is a timeless classic. This book, it just hit me, it's half a century old. Oh my god, that's crazy. Anyway, so because I've read thriller and I know I like thrillers, I'm tiptoeing into horror, and from what I've heard, this is quite gory. It's definitely not like a light layer of horror. It's deep within the genre, but it's not the worst of the worst, from what I've heard. Now, whether I will agree with that, I don't know, but I just, oh my god, get me to this book now. Like, if I could read, like, another book, I would, but I'm kind of, like, swamped with the two I've got. But as soon as I finish the Housemaid series, best believe, me and Carrie, we're gonna be like this girl, unless she's, like, a murderer or, like, a creep, then maybe not, but we shall see, we shall see. Now, the final book, I don't even know what genre this would go into, but it is The List by Yomi. I'm gonna try my best to pronounce this. Igoki. I am so sorry, I am butchering that. I'm not gonna try, I'm very sorry, I don't want to say it wrong. But I saw this book, I think when it first came out, and I was very intrigued because the cover, it's so, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so simple but eye-catching. And this book follows Ola. She is a high-profile journalist, and she's marrying the love of her life in 1 month's time. She and her fiance Michael seem to have it all. That is, until one morning they both wake up to the same message. Oh my god, have you seen The List? It began as a list of anonymous allegations about abusive men, and now it has been published online. Ola made her name breaking exactly this type of story. But today, Michael's name is on there. Will the truth behind the list change everything for the both of them? Now, again, I don't know what category, like what genre you put this book in, but this really intrigued me because I was like, okay, Michael's name is on the list. What's he done? What is Ola gonna do about it? What's the situation? What's the 90210? I'm just really intrigued with how this will come out. And it said here at the top, a page-turning read about the dark side of social media, and it is a love story for our times, addictive, ultra-modern, and hyper-relatable. So, amazing positive reviews, which is just like, it sucked me into the book. I was reading them, I was like, okay, like this is something I can get behind. So, I know I said this very good book, I'm not going to say it again, but I am looking forward to reading this book. I have not seen like many of my Bookstagram mutuals post about it, so I don't know what their thoughts are on it. I cannot wait to read it, and I'm hoping that I like it because it does sound like a really intriguing book. And again, any books I read, I will put in a end of month review video, like a monthly reading wrap up. I love this kind of videos. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that. It'll be on this channel, my ASMR channel, and my vlogging channel, which I will link below if anyone's interested. If you want to check that out, no pressure. But that is it for my little book TBR video. Let me know if you've got any books that are on your TBR list. TBR, oh my god, I keep wanting to say TBH. On your TBR list. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you're doing okay. Remember to stay hydrated, and hopefully I see you in the next Snazzy Jazzy ASMR video.